I'm honored to welcome and introduce Swami Mitrananda, a dynamic, inspiring disciple of Gurudev, His Highness Swami Chinmayananda. He's a beacon of wisdom and energy. As the director of All India Chinmaya Yuva Kendra, publisher of Chinmaya Udghosh, an international youth magazine, he has spearheaded innovative national initiatives like the Youth Empowerment Program and has trained more than 300 youth to serve India. His other initiatives include Awakening Indians to India, empowering youth to unlock their full potential. His unique approach blends outdoor experiential learning, adventure, and creativity to impart Vedantic wisdom, making him a captivating speaker and beloved mentor. A sought-after spiritual teacher, he regularly lectures on Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and traditional texts to audience worldwide. Swami Mitrananda's leadership also extends to the corporate world through the Chinmaya Institute of Management, where he blends spirituality with management insights. His dynamic personality and commitment to inspire positive changes make him a revered figure.
Pranam, Swamiji.
Yeah, Hari Om, Namaskar.
I join with Prasad ji to welcome you, Swamiji. And we all are very much eager to listen from you. Youth spirituality, nurturing inner growth in the next generation. Next 13 minutes, all yours, Swamiji. Pranam, Swamiji.
Yeah, Namaskar. My salutations to everybody present here. Pranam, good evening. With youngsters, my experience has been that we can't preach to them. One would fail completely. We should inspire them and never take the preaching mode. So what I have tried with youngsters is to make them do what I want, but the way in which they like doing it. Make them do what you want, but let them do it in the way in which they like doing it. This formula, if we can manage, then we connect with youth well. Suppose we call youngsters and say, I'm going to talk to you about spirituality. They're quite tired. Even of the word called religion, spirituality, they're tired. Instead, we should know what they like. So I have worked, for example, let us say, if you have to make these youngsters read a very inspiring spiritual book, you should not give them the book and ask them to read. Rather, you should make them do a project on the book. It could be a short film that they should make on a book. It should be a reels they should create on the book. And once you open up this method, then their curiosity and they learn the content. So our teaching style should be the way in which they like learning it. So I have done a couple of deep spiritual texts like Kathopanishad, but I made the youngsters do it like theater. We taught them. We said, this is Kathopanishad. It's a dialogue between Lord Yama and Nachiketa, a young seeker. And this is what the book about. In a gist, I told them. I said, now you do research on it, understand and come up with a theater where we present people all about death. And death is a relevant topic. Youth understand that everyone born has to die sometime or other. So they get that point very clearly. And then when they do research and come up innovatively how to present Kathopanishad through theater, it worked. So we need to adopt methods which they like. If we tell them simple things like, let's go to Ganga, river Ganga is absolutely inspiring. It's a great place to be there. And they're not interested. But suppose you say, we'll go to Ganga. The route of Ganga from Ganga Sagar to Gomukh or to Gangotri on by road, on a motorcycle or a car trip, they show interest. Now, if they come from Ganga Sagar to Gangotri, the entire route, all the pilgrim centers on the banks of Ganga, you cover. And at every place, you tell them what it means. Now they are learning. The method of teaching should suit them. If we adopt a method of preaching, that I take a class and you listen, youngsters are not interested. So for them to understand, we need this approach. And youngsters, if we look at them, they are very energetic. To define youth, in fact, if you see what Taittiriya Upanishad says, it says, let the youth be virtuous, meditative, blessed, and strong. Let the youngsters be virtuous, contemplative, strong, and let them bless themselves. This is how Upanishad is declaring our youth should be. One should be well informed. Sadhu yuva. How a youth should be sadhu, he should be good. And that person should be knowledgeable, very well informed. So we need to inspire youngsters to know all about the world. My guru used to tell, be a guardian angel around the parliament. Means learn to understand what is happening around the world. Youngsters, that is one particular thing. So we should keep youngsters well informed about various things of the world. And we should teach them to be strong. That's where the youngsters like. When you tell them that committing to spiritual study or a Tirtha Yatra or a theatrical presentation of a spiritual theme, the end result will be knowledge and strength. Once these youngsters come to that idea that knowledge and they personally benefit with strength, then they become curious, because every youngster realizes that they need strength in life. Not the physical strength, the mental strength they need in life. So they get that. So we should not teach directly. You come this way, and then by the definition of what youth is, according to the Upanishad, a person should be young and he should be well informed. He should be strong. He should be enthusiastic. Should be enthusiastic. And youngsters need that. Many a times they settle down to ordinary. That's why my teacher used to tell, particularly when he talks to young people, he used to say, keep your goals so high that you never reach them. Now imagine something like that. Keep your goals that high that you don't reach them at all. Meaning, reaching the goal is where you learn, not when you reach the goal. The process is where one comes. So when we give them challenging goals, they aspire for it. So my experience with youngsters have been making them do what you want, the way in which they like doing it. If you can get this formula straight, then with youngsters it works. You can teach them through play, you can teach them through making movies, you can teach them through pilgrims, you can teach them through car rallies, through motorcycle, any adventure sport. You can teach spirituality to them. And that way, the youngsters can pick it up and we can create strong youngsters. The Upanishad says, a youngster should have Atma Bala. He must have that strength. Today, how strong are our youngsters? Physically, probably they are strong. They can go, because the technology and the gym and various things which has come can make them very, very, very strong physically. But mentally, how strong are they? Bala, Buddhi. How strong are they there? So that area we need to guide youngsters. And if they get that strength, then they will be able to think deep, think big. A weak mind cannot think big. So once we give them the spiritual knowledge which gives you strength, Arjuna was confused. Gita was given. He became strong. Every spiritual text that way and the early stage gives us a lot of strength and energy. Once we have that strength, our opinion about ourselves change. Now we can aspire for higher things, bigger things, nobler things. It's here that Gurudev said, keep your goal so high that you don't reach it. You aspire and you work for it. In the process of working, you keep expanding. So the difficult goals we can give them the moment they gain strength. So our approach should be not preaching, Inspire them various. In fact, Krishna says that Joshayet Sarva Karmani, go the way in which they like going. But slowly you can inspire them. If we bring in various rules, do's, don'ts, straight, youngsters don't work. So whether it is a trip to Ganga or if it is a trip to Chardham Yatra, you go and call an youngster, let's go to Chardham Yatra. Why Chardham Yatra? No, I'm not interested. Suppose you say, let's do it as a motorcycle expedition to the 4 dhams in the Himalayas. Now you see youngsters coming. Let's make it a road trip or a hike to these places. Then they come. So we need to adopt their style. And the content, what we teach is ours. But the style which they learn should be their choice. If you can get this formula in place, it works well with youngsters. Then we can have that kind of a youngster who is strong and who is able to think deep, who is well informed. That young people of that kind, who's got bala and buddhi, will become leaders for tomorrow. Otherwise, you have people who are there without any vision, moving ahead in life, doesn't serve much. So inspire young people with wisdom and strength. And once they have that, they aspire a lot. My guru used to say, it's a very often said statement. Most of you would have heard it too. Youth in my country are not useless. They are used less. They are not careless. They are cared less. If we show that kind of a care to them and show them that they can do much more than what they think, the youngsters can be molded very well. In fact, the motto what Swami Chinmayananji has given for the youth is harnessing youth potential through dynamic spirituality. Today, unfortunately, many youngsters think spirituality is not dynamic. Spirituality is passive because the fault lies on us. We have made it look very negative. We have made it look like renounce the world. You want spirituality, drop everything in the world, go to the mountains, caves, or at least to the youngsters we teach, drop desire, drop desire. Young mind wanted to live life and we go tell them drop vasana. It doesn't work. In fact, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the 4 lines which are there, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, it's not against desire. You should know to handle desire well. So if this way we can teach youngsters, they'll get it. Then they are not useless. We have used them less. And that way the youth potential, when it is harnessed, wonderful results can come. So 3-4 points. Make them learn the way in which they like learning it. But what you want. Don't ever preach to an youngster. They won't get it. Let them learn through projects, through travel, and make them understand spirituality is not life negative. It is not passive. It's a very dynamic way of life. In fact, the Bhagavad Gita was not a discussion between Vasishtha and Vishwamitra. Angirasa Bharadwaja. It's not a discourse between dialogue between Shankara and Madhvacharya. It's not a dialogue between Buddha and Mahavira. It's a dialogue between Grahasthas, 2 householders with huge political responsibility who have to lead a nation. These 2 people are talking, Krishna and Arjuna. It's householders' discussion. But today we don't see Gita as a book for young people, Gita as a book for householders. We think Gita as a book for sannyasis. That misnomer should go. So there are many ways to teach youngsters. Even the Gita can be taught in so many ways, other than the discourse, through activity. We do a program in Chennai called Kurukshetra, where people come out and perform cultural programs. On each year we do, it's a cultural program we do, we call it Kurukshetra. Each year one chapter we give. This year they did chapter 5. Based on chapter 5, there were elocution competitions, there were skits, there were fashion show based on chapter 5. So there is a different way of teaching. If we can get that method, then youngsters will learn. Those youngsters would be dynamic. Like the Upanishad says, they will be well equipped to face life. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Swamiji. I think whatever you shared is very experiential. Prasadji, over to you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it struck several chords in me. I'm a parent, I'm a teacher by profession. So everything you said rings true for me personally. And I hope for everyone who's watching this. Pujya Swamiji, thank you so much for blessing this event with your presence. A few nuggets that you shared. I mean, there's infinite wisdom in everything you said, and it was truly inspirational. It reminds me of an old saying: when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So this is the approach that most good teachers use to teach their children. Build a rapport with the students and earn their trust. Then they listen to you. You cannot dictate to the student what you should do, or to your children. That's the essence of what you just said. There's so much to take away from it. I'm limited by the time. I have 20 seconds to summarize. It's next to impossible to do it. But thank you so much for this incredible, inspiring speech.
Thank you very much, Swamiji. Pranam.
On behalf of United Consciousness, I thank Swami Mitrananda for coming onto the platform of United Consciousness and sharing his views.